Hello and welcome to a new episode of This Week in BJJ. This is episode 99 and today is February 24th, 2016. On today's show, I'm going to talk about two really cool tournaments coming up, 5 really nice new Jiu-Jitsu related products, and we have an interview and techniques by Philipe Della Monica. Here we go. We're still a couple months away, but April is going to be a really cool month for tournaments. The Marianas Open is going to be held on April 16th on Guam. I will be there doing commentary, and there's going to be a lot of big names. We don't have them all listed yet, but what we do know is that Felipe Pena will be competing. This is going to be the biggest tournament yet on Guam, and we can't wait to bring it to you. It'll be a live stream on BudoVideos.com, again on April 16th. Then, on April 24th is huge news, EBI 6, the 6th installment of Eddie Bravo's invitational event. This time it's going to be held on UFC's Fight Pass. Budo Videos is still doing the production, so it's going to look great as always. And this is the biggest payout for an EBI, I should say potential payout. If you're familiar with the pay structure, you only get paid if you submit someone in regulation and if you win the whole event. But it's a maximum cash prize of up to $50,000. And listen to the names competing. This is a 16-man event. 2 of the names are still to be determined, but we got Andre Galvao, Yuri Simoes, Gary Tonin and Eddie Cummings, Richie Martinez, Dean Lister, Vinny Magalhães, DJ Jackson, Mateus Dins, Fabian Bolanos, Rustam Chisiev, Bruno Bastos, Evandro Nunes, and Lucas Rocha. Those are some of the best names in submission grappling, and it's going to be amazing. So make sure to put these 2 on your calendars, April 16th for the Marianas Open and April 24th for EBI 6. Now let's move on to new products. Okay, let's talk about DVDs first. First off, I already mentioned Felipe Pena. He'll be competing at the Marianas Open. He is one of Gracie Barra's best competitors right now, super exciting competitor, and he has a new 2 DVD set all on the 50-50 position. Now the 50-50 is not a position that a lot of people love, but sometimes you get stuck there, you got to figure out a way out. And you watch Felipe Pena's matches and you see he does not stay there long. He's always moving. He knows how to get in the position, how to sweep, how to submit, how to get out. So this is a really cool set all on the 50-50. Next up, this one is one that I'm super excited about. This is by Philipe Della Monica, all on the reverse half guard. Now, a lot of names in Jiu-Jitsu aren't universal. Some people call this the inverted half guard, but basically it's starting in half guard and taking a back step, ending up in this position. Kind of hard to see from there, but the reverse half guard is a position that you'll find yourself in whether you like half guard or not. Sometimes your opponent will put you there, sometimes you'll go there attempting to pass the guard, and Philipe Della Monica, better known as Furao, is the master at that position. I have not watched an instructional in a long time where I've learned more than during the filming of this set. It's 2 DVDs. It has 33 chapters covering almost anything that can possibly happen in the reverse half guard. We've got sweeps, passes, and submissions. Really cool set by Philipe Della Monica. This is available on DVD and on demand, coming soon to iPhone and iPads in a couple weeks. Okay, now we got a new book. This is from Koji Komuro. Who is Koji Komuro? He is a Kosen Judo black belt and a Kodokan black belt. He used to teach at the Kodokan, and this book is full of a lot of cool stuff. Koji is known for the Komlock, which is an overhook with lapel grip, but that's not all he shows in this book. There's a lot of really cool details. This was previously available only in Japanese, and it's also available as an ebook on BudoVideos.com. It's about half the price for an ebook as it is for the physical copy, but the physical copy is limited. We only have a few copies in stock, so if you're a collector of the Dead Tree versions of the books, you better jump on this one fast before it gets sold out. One more DVD set. This one is by Vagner Rocha. Vagner is a longtime competitor and ADCC veteran, Ultimate Fighter competitor. He is a really tough dude. Watch his latest matches from the ADCC 2015 set also available on demand. And you'll see he is a gamer. He is so aggressive, a lot of fun to watch, and he has a great Kimura system. On this new 3 DVD set, he covers his whole Kimura system, and I have heard that one of the best competitors of all time, Buchecha, learned everything he knows about the Kimuras directly from Vagner Rocha. So that's definitely one that I'm looking forward to. This one's not quite out yet, should be out in about a week or two, so pre-orders are now on BudoVideos.com. Okay, last new product. This is the CXT Combat X Trainer. If you watched the show, you've seen the regular CXT in previous episodes, but this is now the kids version. Now, the Combat X Trainer is about the only way to practice Jiu-Jitsu by yourself, and I have to be honest, we sold the adult CXTs, and I was surprised at how well they sold. There's obviously a lot of interest in practicing Jiu-Jitsu by yourself or even incorporating it into group classes. There's a lot of things that the guys at CXT have done to promote the product, and there's even instructional DVDs, a lot of cool stuff, and I think this one will be good for kids classes as well. So if you're teaching your kids at home or you have a kids class, you might want to check out the Kids CXT. Okay, now we're going to move on to the interview. This is with Philipe Della Monica, who I mentioned earlier. We're going to be talking about reverse half guard. I'm going to actually look at a few of his matches and competition. I'm going to ask him a lot of questions about his jiu-jitsu. He is the guy that I've been training the most with lately. He is the head instructor at Gracie Barra headquarters in Irvine. Fantastic guy, amazing teacher. Great, well-rounded knowledge of Jiu-Jitsu, but he has this secret weapon of the half guard that, again, you can check out on here. But I think you're going to enjoy this interview. We talk not only about Jiu-Jitsu, but also MMA. He is the Jiu-Jitsu coach for Rafel Dos Anjos, the current UFC champion. So here we go. Enjoy the interview. So Philipe, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thanks, Jake. Thanks for having me.
So you are the head instructor of Gracie Barra headquarters here in America, and that's where I've been training my whole Jiu-Jitsu career as well. So I want to talk to you about a lot of things, but let's start at the beginning. Where and when did you start your Jiu-Jitsu training?
I started training Jiu-Jitsu in Belo Horizonte in Brazil, and I was like 12, 13 years old. I was with a Gracie Barra affiliated school there with Professor Caveirinha, and I trained there all the way when I received my black belt and when I was 20 years old. And then after I received my black belt, then I started to travel more, and I went to Europe for 6 months where I was teaching seminars, teaching Jiu-Jitsu over there. And then at the end of 2007, I came to United States. So I was here for a couple months, then I went back to Brazil like for a month. And then in 2008, in January, I finally moved here. Definitely I moved to United States, being almost 9 years. This year, the end of this year is going to be 9 years.
Mm-hmm. Great. So when I talk to most Americans, including myself, Royce Gracie was one of the main guys that got them, if not the reason to start, at least expose them to Jiu-Jitsu. What was your first exposure to Jiu-Jitsu?
My first exposure was, we have a school, I had a gym very close to my house, and I used to play like in Brazil, like soccer, and I tried basketball, I did swimming, a lot of different sports, but I never follow up too much with any of them, and then finally I went to that martial arts school, the gym. In Brazil, a lot of the Jiu-Jitsu academies are inside another gym, like LA Fitness here, It's not only Jiu-Jitsu. And I was going to try martial arts, and they had a kickboxing class, and then after the kickboxing class on the same mat, they had the Jiu-Jitsu. So I was standing there watching the kickboxing, and I thought it was pretty cool, oh, this is nice. But nobody invited me to come to the mat and try a class. I was just there watching with my mom, and then the class was over. Nobody came to say anything. And then as soon as the Jiu-Jitsu guys start arriving, they right away asked me, hey, come on the mat, we're going to teach you some moves. And then I started training and never stopped. And today I'm glad the kickboxing guy didn't invite me, otherwise I would be probably doing kickboxing today.
So, let's shifting gears for a moment. One thing that I like about you, and I know all of your students do, is you have such a friendly, joyful manner. And I'm curious where your happiness comes from.
I don't know. I'm a happy guy. I think I'm very positive. I'm like that from the beginning. I never paid attention much. I think it's my personality, And I like to see things to the always positive side. Treat people the same, treat people Don't matter if who you are, treat everybody the same way. You know, today I'm 30 years old. I'm kind of looking back to, you know, my career in Jiu-Jitsu, teaching and everything, analyzing more how my personality is. But I think it's natural, you know. I'm the way I am is, you know, I never change. I think I never change, and I'm the same guy since the beginning, you know.
Well, you're obviously very passionate about what you do, and we enjoy having you there. You know, I've been a student at the Gracie Barra headquarters for my whole career, and probably one of the few people left that's still training there. Most of the students went off and opened their own academies, and a lot of the instructors have all moved on. So you were asked to come be the head instructor just not too long ago. What did you think when you were asked to take over that position?
For me, it was a big honor, you know. I was there from the beginning. I used to teach there, and then we have different projects where I ended up opening my own school, which was still with a good relationship with Marcio, Professor Marcio and Master Carlos. We were partner on the other school as well, and they are helping me out, giving me all the support, and I wasn't very far away from the headquarters. So, and then for last year they invited me to come back and you know, and help with the academy, lead the academy and everything. And for me it was just like, you know, I was really happy with the opportunity and honored with the opportunity, you know, between so many higher belts, black belts, and they asked me to be, you know, the guy over there. So it's very blessed to be in that spot, in that position. And I work every day hard, you know, my best to you know, make everything go well, and the school do well, the students and everything.
Yeah, you're doing a fantastic job there. And one thing that, a change that I've seen is your focus on MMA. Traditionally, Gracie Barra hasn't been too focused on MMA. You know, back in Brazil, Babalu was one of the most active Gracie Barra MMA athletes. But that's something that you seem to want to bring back. And I'm curious, why is that?
There was no particular reason. For me, like, since I moved to United States, my priority is being like teaching Jiu-Jitsu. You know, I'm always competing. I participate in so many tournaments, competed for a long time on the black belt. I still competing, still have plans to compete in the highest level. And I am a good friend with Rafel Dos Anjos, today the UFC champion, lightweight champion. We used to train together in Brazil. And then he moved to United States like 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. And he was training a lot of striking, and we got to train again together. And he asked me like, oh, can we train more? I need more jiu-jitsu training. And then I started to train with him on a daily basis. And he's a professional MMA fighter, which is, the training is a little bit different, you know. Some positions that you train on a regular jiu-jitsu, when you say we are allowed to punch in the face, change, you know. And I started helping him, and you know, we, like I said, doing it on a daily basis. And then he trained with a lot of other guys in the MMA community. And the other guys saw the way we were training, they start coming in, like Benil Dariush, a lot of other fighters. And wasn't something that I was like, oh, that's my goal now, is to work with these guys. It's something that started to happening, and for me it was fun because something different, you know. Mm-hmm. My priority is still like teaching my students Jiu-Jitsu with the gi, Jiu-Jitsu at the Gracie Barra headquarters. And then, but I'm conciliating now with this MMA training, which it's fun for me, you know. I try to be very professional with them. It's different when you train like these guys, which is different jiu-jitsu, and they are professionals, like high-level athletes, you know. They compete at the highest level. It's a lot of responsibility and a hand of the coaches. And I'm enjoying doing, you know. It's not my primary goal. I do a lot for fun as well. And it's been growing more and more people coming in, asking for the training. We have a good environment. We have a good methodology of training right now. After all these years, I learn a lot from them as well. And it's just something that I like doing.
Yeah, and it's cool seeing these guys come in, and I've joined the training sometimes, and you're right, it changes things a lot when you put some gloves on and you're taking shots to the face. It makes you think about what techniques you may or may not want to use. And do you think it's important that Jiu-Jitsu maintains a close relationship with MMA?
I think Jiu-Jitsu, you know, is one of the major keys on MMA. You know, if you can't survive in MMA if you don't know Jiu-Jitsu. You know, you have to know. Today, all the champions, all the high-level athletes, even coming from other backgrounds, they train Jiu-Jitsu. It's really important, you know, that that when the UFC first started, you know, when they tried to prove, like, put all the martial arts together, each athlete train only the martial arts. They put it all together, and Jiu-Jitsu proved it to be, you know, the best one by the time. And I think it's really important, you know. It's really still that connection is still really alive, you know.
Yeah, and when you look at BJJ's development in Brazil, it was closely linked to street fighting. A lot of the guys got into fights on the street. A lot of the Gracie families, you know, you can watch the in-action videos and they show those. Some instructors even go so far as to say that you should get into a street fight at least once in your life. To me, that is a little bit extreme, but what do you think? Do you think people need to get into a street fight, or should they at least put their gloves on once in their jiu-jitsu career, or is just practicing sport jiu-jitsu okay?
I don't think, you know, I disagree with the street fighting aspect. I don't think, you know, people should fight on the streets. But, like, for example, in Gracie Barra, in our fundamentals curriculum, we teach punches and kicks as part of jiu-jitsu. It is part of jiu-jitsu. If you get, let's say, old jiu-jitsu guys, let's put on like red and black belts. Ask all the red and black belts jiu-jitsu today, and they're gonna tell you that jiu-jitsu has strike, jiu-jitsu has, you know, the clinches, the jab, the kicks. In our fundamentals program, we teach that too. It's a connection with the roots of jiu-jitsu. Like we teach that striking, the practice striking. What do you do if somebody comes after you trying to punch you? What do you do if somebody tries to attack you? You know, I think it helps a lot the beginners to understand the leverage of the techniques. Because sometimes you teach technique and you talk about, oh, let's put your partner in a guard, you're gonna do close guard, and then you put this hook here. And the beginner student don't know what hook is, they don't know what close guard is, you know. When you put a self-defense scenario where you tell them, look, let's learn how to defend. Again, this guy is gonna come after you to try to punch, and we need to clinch them, take them down, and control them. They picture themselves in a real life scenario doing this. I think makes is a good bridge for them to understand the concept and understand the leverage, the technique, the details, all the way until they learn all the jiu-jitsu moves, and they move forward to the advanced techniques and the ground, you know, all the sweeps and attacks that jiu-jitsu has.
Mm-hmm. So you fought many guys over the years in your long career. Which victory are you most happy with?
It's hard to think. I fought so many great guys, you know. The fights that I won, fights that I lost, all the fights I learned from, you know. To think about a big name guy that I fought, that I won. I fought Claudio Calazans one time. We had a match back and forth, and I was able to win that match, and I was really happy. I think like many years ago, like 6 years ago, I was competing in the Pan Ams, you know, and I had a tough bracket with so many great names. And then after I win the match against him, that gave me a lot of confidence, you know, to as far as competition and compete against big names in jiu-jitsu. And then after that, I ended up facing so many great guys, and I still up to date training against good guys. The good thing about competition, Jake, when you lead the preparation to the competition, we train with a lot of great guys, you know. Mm-hmm. When we do the camps together, people come from all over the world. Like I have a chance to train with like Braulio Stima, Victor Stima, Otávio, Romulo Barral. You know, we train with a lot of these guys on the camp, like in the preparation, that gives you good confidence, you know. But when you step on the mat for a championship, it's different, you know. Some people freeze, some people do better, and yeah, one match that I remember would be that one.
So you mentioned that some people freeze and some people feed off of the adrenaline. How about you? Do you feel like you do better in competition than you do at the academy, or not?
Good question. You know, so there's times that I did better. There's times, you know, that today with the experience that I have, I know that the preparation is very important, and as more as you prepare, as better you are. When you go to the tournament, you perform better, you know. Sometimes you think you're training the right way, you think you're doing your best on the training, and then you go to the competition and you know that you weren't ready, so you're not in your best shape. A good example I can give you, there's times that I was super busy teaching a lot of classes, you know, focusing on the academy, and the time that I have to prepare myself for competition wasn't that much. but I was pushing, and on my head I was like, no, I'm doing the right training, you know. And then I went to the tournament, and I felt that I wasn't, that training was, you know, enough for that type of competition. And today I know exactly what I need to be doing to be, you know, 100% in a championship. That's one of the reasons, like lately, you know, I minimize it a lot, the amount of competitions that I go. You know, before I just love competing. I do that since I was a kid. And even not being 100%, I would sign up and go because I like, you know. But today, I'm not competing as much because if I'm stepping there, I want to make sure I'm 100%. And to be 100%, to compete against top level guys in Jiu-Jitsu, it requires a lot of time, a lot of dedication, a lot of things that you have to put on aside in your life to make sure if you go there, you do well, you know. If you don't, if you want to just go there to be one more guy on the bracket, you know, it's so easy. You go on the internet, sign up and go, you know. Right. It's different if you want to be on the top of the division, if you want to be on the podium, if you want to be with the gold medals, you know, it's different.
A lot of guys have done really well when they were able to only focus on competition. Other guys had troubles when they started teaching full-time. Do you think it's difficult balancing those two?
For me, to be honest, I never had a time that in a black belt that I was just focusing on competition. You know, I was always conciliating with the teaching. When I moved to the United States 8 years ago, the main reason I moved here, the opportunity that I had here was to teach. But I was very active competing. I was like, when I moved here, I was like 22 years old. I had that lot of fire on me, like I want to compete. You know, even like after teaching all day, like 9 p.m., I was getting together with people and training to prepare for the tournament. But I never experienced on the black belt. I did on the previous belts, but on the black belt level, I never experienced like a time that I was just my full-time training, you know, always conciliating with teaching. And I think if you do well, if you plan well, you can do. A good example is Otavio, my friend Otavio Souza. He became 2 times champion at black belt, also teaching full-time. You know, I remember one year that he won the championship, like he fought Saturday, was the beginning of the World Championship, and Friday night he was teaching at the academy, you know. And next day he was going to compete at the World Championship, and he won the tournament. Right. So that was like a proof that if you do the right plan, it can be, you can compete, you know, equally with the guys that only trains.